Hello, everybody. Well, war is coming. We now have the dream team that just got better. Matt Gaetz is going to be the Trump's attorney general, and he said he is coming after every single person within the past 4 years that has gone through, used lawfare to try to attack Trump, conservatives, everybody. He said, I'm coming. This is no joke. He literally is so serious, he's already resigned from his position within the House of Representatives. He's already been tasked with going after the deep state and the Biden lawfare that attacked Trump in the past 4 years. He's going to uncover all the evidence and show it to the American people how the DOJ worked with state and local governments to go after Trump. He said the truth is going to be seen. He's going after Merrick Garland. He's going after Anthony Fauci. He wants to uncover everything and show the American people, like, this guy is crazy. I mean, like, he says it's going to happen. We even have where Vivek and Elon, I love it, have come out and said that they plan to reduce the amount of federal bureaucrats by 75%. Now remember, Elon Musk knows how to run a company. He bought Twitter, named it X, but he fired 80% of the workforce, and it's running better, more features, and it's doing so much more. They said we can get to 0% federal income taxes by reducing all the bureaucrats' salaries and giving it back to the American people. I say, praise God. Elon Musk has also come out and said that he will fund any primary challenges against any Republican who tries to backstab Donald Trump in the next 4 years. And remember, this guy's got over $300 billion, richest guy in the world. He's got the money. And we now have everyone who's wondering, what is RFK Jr. going to do? What is his position going to be? All the cabinet positions are almost filled up except for the Secretary of Health and Human Services. And remember, Trump promised him that he would be able to have his way with all the health within government. Just want to say we got a lot of breaking news tonight. This is getting nuts. And want to say thank you to all who's watching. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. We want to serve you every day with the top news. And thank you to everybody who is a member of the channel. The link is in the description to join the membership and join the True Life News fam. And thank you to everybody that gives a super chat donation. We are so grateful to be able to serve you every day. And we're going to be doing a live donation to a charity in the next week, a little bit over a week. So we thank you for the support. We got a lot of stuff to get into. The dream team is getting crazy, and I love it. Check this out.
In Washington today and making waves as he rapidly fills out his cabinet. In the past couple of hours, he's announced that Marco Rubio will be Secretary of State, Tulsi Gabbard to serve as his Director of National Intelligence, and he picked Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz to be his Attorney General. That just came out. It comes off a whirlwind day for the incoming president, who had a big meeting with President Biden in the Oval Office. And here's that historic moment.
Mr. President-elect and former President, thank you. Donald, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And looking forward to having like we said, a smooth transition.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much. And politics is tough, and it's in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much.
That meeting lasting about 2 hours. So what was said behind closed doors? Well, Donald Trump revealing to the New York Post that he and Biden both really enjoyed seeing each other, and adding this: we really had a really good meeting. I asked for his views and he gave them to me. Also, we talked very much about the Middle East. Likewise, I wanted to know his views on where we are and what he thinks. And he gave them to me. He was very gracious. And the White House calling it a very cordial, very gracious and substantive meeting. But hey, what happened to all that threat to democracy stuff? Well, Corinne Jean-Pierre had this to say about that.
A lot was said on the campaign trail, like Trump is a dangerous threat to our country and our democracy. Was there an apology today?
I'm sorry?
Was there an apology from
President
Biden for the words, some of the words used?
The president is going to always feel obligated to be honest with the American people. what he says still stands.
I think that Americans should look at this image that we're seeing and think about this day as a very serious day and appreciate the fact that it reflects a smooth transition of power. You know, Trump was called everything from a threat to democracy. If he were elected, you know, it would be, the end of America as we knew it. There were people trying to kill him. He got shot. And he came in as a gentleman.
Yes.
Donald Trump, whether it's because he's more serious now, I'm not sure what the reason is. I think President-elect Donald Trump, understands that he has a job to do, and he's not going to waste his time.
Nope.
Getting involved in the little tit for tats that we may have seen during the first term. And we know that already because there was so much said by people on MSNBC and CNN. He didn't even respond to any of it. So he is very focused. And I think he was very gracious, given how the man on his right said that he was a threat to democracy and that he was Hitler and a fascist. I don't know that many people who could actually have sat there with a smile and said, politics is tough, but today is a great day. And what I think is also interesting, I'll just end on this, is that Joe Biden apparently gave a letter to President-elect Trump. And, she was the one who I think could have a lot of bad feelings. She felt that Joe was thrown out, and then, they blamed Joe afterwards, and she was sitting next to Kamala on Veterans Day. They didn't even look at each other. It'll be interesting to see and hear what she has when she's out of the White House.
Yeah, she writes another book, indeed. One of the first things President Trump did, Jesse, was go to the House Republicans, thank Speaker Johnson, say, Speaker Johnson's the guy. Let's not have any of these shenanigans or any of these fights, like the judge was saying, because he knows he's got a limited time frame to get a lot done.
Yeah, so Mike Johnson and Thune, they're in, so that's the team. But wow, I have to say something nice about Joe Biden, and I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Maybe because Greg's wearing animal skins, or the stock market's roaring, or I know every single member of the cabinet. Some of them even owe me money.
Yeah.
But Biden was gracious today, and the country needed that. And I don't know why he chose this tradition of lunch to be gracious after he disrespected the tradition of, raiding your rival's house, arresting him, and calling him Hitler. I'm not inside Biden's brain. I don't know what he's thinking. He probably doesn't know what he's thinking either. But the country needed to see these two leaders sitting in chairs by a fire and pretending that they don't want to strangle each other. We needed that. Now, Melania's absence was obviously an admission that Joe Biden's disgusting. Why would Donald Trump hide documents in his wife's underwear drawer while he lives in a 100,000 square foot mansion? It's the dumbest hiding place of all time, and that's why Joe's a little sick. Let's put that aside. Can you believe Pete Hegseth is going to be the next Secretary of Defense? So I had a hard time wrapping my head around it last night, and now I love it. And then as I was wrapping my head around it, mostly thinking about how I can benefit from it. Can I use this plane to go somewhere?
No.
No is the answer.
No.
I've been told that already. And then they hit me with Gates, and I'm starting to understand Greg's pirate analogy. And it reminded me of the 92 Dream Team. Remember, Harold?
I do.
When they assemble Magic, Mike, and Larry into one team, and no one's ever thought about that before. And now this is what you're looking at. You're looking at the Dream Team.
Yes.
They're assembling a constellation of stars, which I happen to know intimately. And I've never been this excited before. I am so excited for this country, not for me personally, although that's there. I'm just so excited for the change that we're going to see in the next 4
I
years.
hope they pick.
Let's go. We're going to see big changes, everybody, because I'm telling you this. We've got not only Matt Gaetz, who's jumping in. We've got Tulsi Gabbard, who, remember, she came out. Tulsi Gabbard was on the terror watch list. That's what they put her on. The National Intelligence Agency did. And now she's literally the boss of that same agency that put her as a terror threat. Somebody put, this is the biggest, right here, to the deep state swamp, big time. Lay Lewis, thank you so much for the super chat, super news, let's go. And Andy, A&F, this is the thing. Carrie Lake is still fighting her race in Arizona. They've called it, but there's still time for her to continue to fight it to make sure that the votes were legitimate. And also, a lot of people have been saying too, Marco Rubio, he is a rhino. So we're going to see what actually happens. But I want to show you a little bit about who the next attorney general is about to be, because I'm telling you, this guy, when you watch this, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I get why Trump picked him. Check this out.
Take no lecture on asking patriotic Americans to weigh in and contribute to this fight from those who would grovel and bend knee for the lobbyists and special interests who own our leadership, who have, oh, boo all you want, who have hollowed out this town and have borrowed against the future of our future generations. I'll be happy to fund my political operation through the work of hardworking Americans, $10 and $20 and $30 at a time, and you all keep showing up at the lobbyist fundraisers and see how that goes for you. I reserve.
Boom! Do y'all hear that? He literally just called out every deep state swamp person saying, look, all you follow is just these lobbyists. That's who pays you. And that's why you always do what they say. You don't take care of the American people. Watch this.
You can clear it all up for us right now. Will the Department of Justice provide to the committee all documents, all correspondence between the department and Alvin Bragg's office and Fonnie Willis's office and Letitia James's office?
The offices you're referring to are independent offices of state.
I get that. The question is whether or not you will provide all of your documents and correspondence. That's the question. I don't need a history lesson.
Well, I'm going to say again, we do not control those offices. They make their own decisions.
The question is whether you communicate with them, not whether you control them. Do you communicate with them, and will you provide those communications?
You make a request. We'll refer it to our Office of Legislative Affairs.
But see, here's the thing. You come in here and you lodge this attack that it's a conspiracy theory, that there is coordinated lawfare against Trump. And then when we say, fine, just give us the documents, give us the correspondence, and then if it's a conspiracy theory, that will be evident. But when you say, well, we'll take your request, and then we'll sort of work it through the DOJ's accommodation process, then you're actually advancing the very dangerous conspiracy theory that you're concerned about. Now, you were a judge, once nominated the highest court in our country. When you were a judge, I'm just curious, did you ever make political donations to partisan candidates?
No.
No, and you didn't because that would create the potential appearance of impropriety.
I didn't because there's a federal rule barring federal judges from making contributions.
Right, but under that same theory of attacks on the judicial process, like, shouldn't someone be owed like a jury of their peers and a judge that's non-biased rather than getting a judge from your political opponent's donor file?
I'm well aware that you're not asking a hypothetical. You're asking me to comment on a jury verdict in another jurisdiction which has to be respected. I won't comment on it. That case is still ongoing. The defendant
Mr. Attorney General, I hadn't asked you about the verdict yet. We were getting there. I was talking about the judge. And so let me ask you this question about your time as a judge. Was there ever a time when you were a judge when you had a family member who was personally profiting off of the notoriety of a case that was before your court?
I'm going to say again, it's very clear you're asking me to comment on a case in another jurisdiction.
No, wait, hold on, Mr. Attorney General. Did you ever have a family member profit off of the notoriety of any case that you sat over?
Say again, you're asking
yes or no?
You're asking me to comment on a case currently.
Well, it seems you're connecting the dots, Mr. Attorney General. I'm just asking you as to a general principle, but you are aware that Judge Merchan's daughter was profiting off of this prosecution. You are aware that that creates the appearance of impropriety. You know the very reason there's a federal rule against judges giving donations is because it is the very attack on the judicial process that we're concerned about.
I'm sorry, I don't agree with anything you just said, but I'm not going to comment on it.
Okay, so you won't comment on it, Mr. Attorney General, but you had no problem dispatching Matthew Colangelo. Who's Matthew Colangelo?
That is false. I did not dispatch Matthew Colangelo.
Matthew Colangelo became the Assistant Attorney General at the very beginning of the Biden administration. Without having been Senate confirmed, goes and gets the senior role at the DOJ. And then after, I believe it's Gupta replaces Colangelo, Colangelo makes this remarkable downstream career journey from the U.S. Department of Justice in Washington, D.C., and then pops up in Alvin Bragg's office to go get Trump. And you're saying that's just a career choice that was made that has nothing to do with the lawfare coordinated by the military.
Right there, everybody. You are literally seeing it right before your eyes. This dude isn't afraid. He said he is going after Merrick Garland. He's going to go after Anthony Fauci. He's going to go after every deep state person that has attacked Trump over the past 4 years. He has called out every deep state person saying, y'all are all bending the knees to the lobbyists. You don't work for the American people. You work for yourselves. And we finally have somebody who's going to be the attorney general who's going to fight like Trump to put America first, that flag that represents American people first. I love it. We are moving in the right direction like never before. I want to say thank you, John Reppy, for the super chat. He said, thanks for all your hard work until the election. God bless all my brothers in arms and God bless America. This is glorious time for America, MAGA. Let's go. Y'all show John and Andy and Lay Lewis some love in the chat, everybody. And I love it, guys, because we're getting more and more news leaked out like never before. Check this out.
Show prep. Just go to The View and you can watch the left meltdown in real time because they've got a panel of everything wrong with the left. You've got Alyssa Farah, the sellout Republican. You've got the morons and Joy and Whoopi who don't know anything about anything. You've got Sonny Hostin who pretends to know things and then just hits when focus group left tested talking points. Here's Sonny Hostin suggesting that the bubbles should stay. Definitely don't hang out with your Trump voting family members and don't try to understand them at all. Just keep doubling down on what you're doing. I'm all for this, by the way. You guys, you keep that up. You keep insulating yourself in that bubble that works so well. Check this out.
Whatever your reason is, I would never let my politics be the reason I don't show up to see my family because they won't always be there.
I'm going to disagree.
That's true.
I completely understand her point because I really do feel that this candidate, President-elect Trump, is just a different type of candidate. From the things he's said and the things he's done and the things he will do, it's more of a moral issue for me. And I think it's more of a moral issue for other people. We're just, I would say it was different when, let's say, Bush got elected. You may not have agreed with his policies, but you didn't feel like he was a deeply flawed person.
Wow.
Keep it up. We love this, liberals. Yes, make no effort whatsoever to understand why those around you may have a political viewpoint different from your own. It is what led you to believe defund the police was a good idea. It's what led you to believe. It's what led you to believe prosecuting Donald Trump for made-up crimes and in front of fake, phony judges on fraudulent charges was a great idea, too. You guys keep this up. It served you so wonderfully. Folks, the Trump effect is real. I'm telling you right now, process this, tattoo it on your brain. Your guy here is never wrong on this stuff. There is a significant schism developing on the left. I set the show up for a reason. You saw Carville. Carville makes money and it's not just about money to him, but prestige as well. If you're a political prognosticator and you're wrong, nobody's going to pay attention to you. He wants to have juice like anyone else. If I told you a bunch of stuff that never happened and never came true, you wouldn't listen to the show either. There is a schism developing. You got the Sonny Hostin crowd, which is doubling down on crazy. And then you got the Carvilles. This is the Trump effect. It is real. The greatest irony of Donald Trump is he may have a bigger impact on the Democrat Party than he has on the Republican Party at some point from having them do some sense of self-reflection. Here's Eric.
Can you believe this? He's like, look, Trump's actually going to affect the Dems more than the Republicans. Barbara Bliss, let's go. Super chat. Thank you so much. Y'all show Barbara some love in the chat, everybody. We got an awesome show. Let's go.
Adams, the far left governor in New York, mayor of New York City, who I don't trust as far as I could throw him. But here's Eric Adams on the potential deportation of illegals in New York. And for a second, you're listening to this, you're like, this guy sounds like a squishy Republican, not a Democrat. This is the Trump effect at work and your election at work. Listen to this.
How can migrant New Yorkers be sure that they won't happen here, given that ICE can make arrests? The question is, why should New Yorkers, including migrant New Yorkers, trust that you will advocate for them with the new Trump administration, given that you have a personal stake in winning the president's favor.
Okay, a couple of things. Do you think every New Yorker believes there should not or should be mass deportation? Do you believe every New Yorker believes that?
No, but you have said you don't think there should be.
Yeah, but you said, how can I advocate for New Yorkers? So I should only advocate for one type of New Yorker or all New Yorkers?
Well, that's tough. I don't think you can advocate for all New Yorkers.
Oh, really? Okay, so which New Yorker I shouldn't advocate for? The ones that agree with you or disagree with you?
Well, if you believe there should be no mass deportations, how can people believe that you will advocate for that with the incoming Trump administration?
But you set up a question, and this is very interesting, the question you set up. So there's certain New Yorkers I shouldn't advocate for?
Folks, you're watching the Trump effect in real time. Woo! He's going to have as significant effect on the politics of this country on the Democrat side as the Republican side. He has almost single-handedly shifted the Republican Party from a party focused exclusively on tax cuts and elite business interests into the working man's party. This is a racial depolarization election. If any political prognosticator or talking head worth their salt knows it, Donald Trump has broken racial barriers. No, and I mean no Republican has managed to do in 100 years.
Yeah.
That's his lasting gift to the Republican Party. Donald Trump, ironically, may save Democrats from themselves too. And that may not be the kind of thing you want to hear. But folks, I'm here to give you analysis, I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight because the Democrat Party is populated by power centers like AOC, the Squad, the Sonny Hostin types, the Rachel Maddows. They still hold a lot of sway. It's going to be a long time before the Democrats even think about repairing themselves. But a few political victories in, if Donald Trump can get tax cuts passed and some good, solid conservative national reciprocity and things like that, deregulation, DOJ works on cutting some departments, get rid of the Department of Education. A few wins in, I think you're going to see some Democrats who years ago would have been called blue dogs say, hey, man, I got to get with the winning team. Why? I just showed it to you. Oh, bring receipts. I just did. There's Eric Adams giving a speech, the liberal mayor of New York, a guy who only cares about PR, giving a speech about, hey, man, you know, I'm not necessarily going to be defending illegal immigrants in the city from law enforcement. I just showed it to you.
I love it, everybody. Y'all are killing it tonight. Let's go, guys. I'm so excited for what's coming to the United States of America. Camp Goer 1, thank you so much for the super chat. I said President Trump is on the roll, picking the right team for the job. Go, Trump, go. And Lay Lewis said, I'm scared to swim, but absolutely loving this red wave. Y'all got it, guys. Y'all show Lay and Camp Goer 1 some love in the chat. Look, I'm not joking. When Trump aligned himself with Elon Musk, the richest guy in the world, he did a smart thing. Elon Musk is threatening to fund right here, I'm showing you guys, this is just blowing up X right now, is threatening to fund a primary challenge for any Republican congressman or senator who backstabs Trump or his agenda. Can you believe this? They are not playing around. Judy Lynn Loving Spirit, thank you so much for gifting 5 True Life News memberships. Let's go. Y'all show Judy Lynn some love in the chat. Because I'm telling you, they were going full force. Remember I told you? Check this out. This is from the leading report. Head of the Department of Government Efficiency, Vivek Ramaswamy, along with Elon Musk, says he plans to reduce the number of federal bureaucrats by 75%. We need this. It's so important. And a lot of people said, well, what about those people in their jobs? Look, Elon's already taken care of that. He said, we will reduce a lot of the government headcount, but we're going to give very long severances, like 2 years or something like that. So that way they can leave the government, go work a private sector job, and make double their money for like 2 years. This is good stuff. They know how to run businesses. They know how to make things work well. I love what everything is happening because I'm telling you, this is what we need in America. We need an overhaul. Check this out.
He's back. Donald Trump returned to D.C. today, and his first meeting was with Congress.
Well, thank you very much. This is a very nice gathering. Isn't it nice to win? It's nice to win. It's always nice to win. A lot of good friends in this room. So you know we had like historic kind of numbers, especially for the president, but we won't get into that.
His whole entourage was there. Elon Musk got a standing O.
Elon has been
I love it.
Behind closed doors, Trump joked, Elon won't go home. I can't get rid of him. The next stop was the White House. Biden-Harris staffers raced away from their desks to watch history turn the page.
It's really stunning. Those are Biden staffers. They're in the EOB. Some of them are lower level, some of them perhaps a little bit higher. But they're there to watch a history moment being made that nobody standing there wanted.
Joe Biden was just as giddy as his staff.
Donald, congratulations. Thank you.
Oh, come on, internet.
Looking forward to having like we said, a smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So
Good.
Welcome
Thank you
back.
very much, and thank you very much. And politics is tough, and it's in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much. A transition that's so smooth, it'll be as smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate that, Jim.
You're welcome.
Biden seemed relieved to be passing the torch to Don the dictator. Since Kamala lost, we've never seen Joe happier. How do you arrest a guy, call him Hitler, and almost get him killed, and then when he wins, you invite him over for coffee? I don't know what goes on in Joe's little head. He doesn't either. These two guys met for almost 2 hours, and Trump says we got to know each other again. Telling the Post, quote, I asked for his views, and he gave them to me. He was very gracious, and it was a really good meeting. Binder says it was downright chummy.
Did he get a sense that the issues that he was impressing upon, that any advice he was giving was being well received?
I think so. I think that's why the president was wanting me to let you all know that there was a very good back and forth. Look, they met for more than 2 hours. They met for a very long time, or nearly 2 hours, pardon me. And I think by the length of the meeting tells you that they had an in-depth conversation on an array of issues.
We hear they talked a lot about the Mideast, but what else?
The last time these two were together in the same room was at the debate. They talked a fair amount about playing golf. Do you know if a plan was made for them to play golf in President Biden's retirement?
Actually, that's not the last time they saw.
Let me tell you, Peter Ducey is such a troll. This is hilarious. Christine Engler, thank you so much for gifting 5 True Life News memberships. Let's go. And thank you so much, Sam, for joining the fam. Y'all are killing it tonight. I'm telling you what, I feel so great about what we're seeing. Let's see some popcorn because in the chat because we've got a great show.
They saw each other at September 11th. I'm going to move on.
Dr. Jill even popped by to hand Trump a handwritten letter for Melania, who couldn't make it. And she gave the dictator a nice warm smile. Kamala just got the cold shoulder. Not everybody in the White House was as happy as the Bidens. An unnamed Biden official reacting to the meeting with, what the F? Democrats wanted Biden to be a bridge to the next generation, but he was just a roundabout, right back to Trump. Now Trump's back in Washington with an overwhelming mandate, and the Democrats are squabbling and totally shut out of power. In a secret ballot, Senate Republicans picked John Thune of North Dakota to be Senate Majority Leader. Mitch McConnell's retiring, and Trump's cabinet will get a fair shake and a fast track.
We will do everything we can to process his noms quickly, get them installed in their position so they can begin to implement his agenda.
We learned today Tulsi Gabbard has been tapped for Director of National Intelligence, DNI. That's a big role, and she'll be on the show in a minute. And here's a surprise. Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz has been selected to be Trump's Attorney General. Gaetz is a sharp-tongued lawyer who sat on the House Judiciary Committee, has tangled with Democrats and Republicans, and shines a spotlight on government corruption and weaponization.
Seems like every time I turn around, they're engaged in surveillance or list building or monitoring, and I don't care if it takes every second of our time and every ounce of our energy. We either get this government back on our side or we defund and get rid of, abolish the FBI, CDC, ATF, DOJ, every last one of them, if they do not come to heel.
Guys, I'm just telling you, that's why Trump picked him. He is going against the deep state. All these dang three-letter agencies, they 100% are not in favor. Like, they have not been on the people's side. They've been doing their own thing. The FBI was used, the DOJ, all this, working with Twitter, Facebook, all against Trump. Now it's time to clean house. Let's go. Christine Angler, you are so awesome. She said, thank you for all your hard work to give us the up-to-date news. I have a couple of suggestions for the organizations to donate in the future. Wounded Warrior Project, love them, and Bikers Against Child Abuse. I love it. Y'all show Christine some love in the chat, everybody.
Controversial because of some personal allegations that Biden's Justice Department hung over his head but never prosecuted. We expect the Democrats to treat him like trash and turn his hearing into the Salem witch trials. Some are already squishy, these Republicans, and he can't afford more than a few no's. Donald Trump can not allow his own Justice Department to sabotage his presidency again. No more Robert Muellers. Matt Gaetz wouldn't put up with another coup. The Attorney General has to be trusted. It's why Obama picked Holder. It's why JFK picked his own brother. Trump's been shot, impeached twice, spied on, and had his wife's underwear drawer rummaged through by feds. His calculation is that Gaetz will run a clean shop and sniff out any shenanigans before they spread. The pace of Trump's cabinet picks, with a few curveballs, has heads spinning.
What's the buzz on the Hill right now?
Well, I mean, I hope you don't forgive me for saying this, Kristen, but the general vibe on the Hill right now is WTF.
When Washington heard Pete Hegseth would be the next defense secretary, it caught him off guard. Defense lobbyists were leaking, who the F is this guy? And the media can't believe it.
Your president is moving quickly to fill the clown car and round out his cabinet. He has selected Fox Weekend morning show host, you can't make this up, Pete Hegseth, to serve as Secretary of Defense, because why not?
Co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend. Not even like regular. Weekend.
That's so messed up.
Hegseth.
This guy literally served for the United States. He has 2 Bronze Stars. Like, has done so much service actually fighting for this country, and they have the audacity to just make fun of him and mock him over his line of work. That just shows you The View, I say it, is a piece of trash.
Hegseth. Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, it's weird, and there's only one reason he's doing it, because he's on Fox News.
I don't necessarily know if acumen is top of mind when picking these people.
So Pete's a decorated Army combat vet who did tours in Iraq and Afghanistan and has fought for veterans for years. He hasn't been corrupted by decades in Washington. He wasn't made by the machine. He's got a fresh set of eyes and a clear vision for the Pentagon. It's not like he's going to let Chinese spy balloons fly across the country or leave billions of dollars in military hardware in the Taliban's hands or make the Iranians and the drug cartels filthy rich and watch a land war erupt in Europe or anything. We can definitely tell you that Hegseth isn't going to have drag queen story hours on Army bases and DEI classes at West Point. I guarantee you, Pete won't spend a week in the hospital and hide it from the commander-in-chief. Democrats are suddenly obsessed with specific qualifications after telling us merit didn't matter. All that mattered was your race and gender. Well, Pete's a straight white male with a lot of kids. Is that going to be a problem? Biden stacked his administration with people like Mayor Pete's and Binders, Rachel Levine's and Sticky Sammy's. Pete's plenty qualified. Tim Walz was about to be a heartbeat away from the presidency, and he lied about being in combat. Pete Hegseth was in gunfights in Iraq and Afghanistan, has 2 Bronze Stars. I'd rather have him in the Situation Room than Tampon Tim. Trump's picking stars he can trust to watch his back and enact his agenda. and they're rolling them out fast and fun. The country senses it's on the precipice of massive change, and we're excited. And I'm not just saying that because I know the entire cabinet and that I'll be asking for special favors. Probably inappropriate, but doesn't hurt to ask. Democrats aren't scared of Hitler.
Hey, if I was friends with them, I'd be like, hey, I want to ride in Air Force One. Just one time, please. Just one time, Air Force One.
Hitler coming back to town. If they were, Biden wouldn't be smiling. They're scared that his renegade cabinet is going to expose how rotten they all are and turn things around so fast that Americans are going to realize what's possible. A new golden age isn't just a slogan, it's a promise. Trump's victory and these cabinet picks are raising our expectations because we deserve to have our expectations raised. This is the greatest country on the face of the earth with the best land and the brightest people. We shouldn't settle. The government works for us, not the other way around. That's what makes us free. And if Trump and his team can revolutionize the way Washington works and actually get it to work, the sky's the limit. And the mediocre culture of Washington will be stigmatized forever. Working on the Hill your whole life, at think tanks or pushing papers for the State Department, getting nothing done for the good of the people except padding your resume, backstabbing your enemies, and racking up debt. If Trump succeeds, the days when those guys, them ruling, are over. The Democrats are starting to realize what's about to hit them. And they're warning Republicans, don't be too bold. Have mercy.
To my Republican colleagues, I offer a word of caution in good faith. Take care not to misread the will of the people, and do not abandon the need for bipartisanship. After winning an election, the temptation may be to go to the extreme. We've seen that happen over the decades, and it's consistently backfired on the party in power.
Oh, and that's Rich coming from the party that was elected to beat COVID, but just rammed through $20 trillion on windmills and sex changes. Schumer can take a back seat this time. We don't need his help. What an exciting time to be alive.
I'm telling you, this is amazing. I love what we're seeing. I love what somebody posted because this type of stuff to me is the truth. Feels like there was more accomplished in the past 8 days than in the last 4 years. With just getting the right people in place, you can do so much, and that's what we're looking for. And the other thing too, I wanted to say, this is kind of huge that's breaking out right now. So the FBI seizes electronics from the Polymarket CEO after the Trump win prediction. Well, Polymarket's a betting market. They're overseas. It's not the United States. And they pretty much, all their stuff showed that Trump was going to win. Now the FBI is literally going after this guy, the CEO, getting all of his electronics because they feel like he partially rigged the election for Trump. Like, can you believe this? You couldn't even bet in the United States. If you're in the United States, you could not bet through the Polymarket. You could only bet through there's a platform called KALSHI, KALSHI. I'm actually in it. My link is in the description if you want to go get you some free money. But this is where you bet on who's going to be the senator, who's going to be the president, who's going to win the presidency, all different types of betting things. But what's crazy is that the FBI, this is how far they're going because they're so mad. Remember, this is coming from the Biden administration. They're so mad that Trump won that they're literally going after a betting platform that predicted that Trump was going to win based upon people's bets. It wasn't Polymarket's bets, just people betted that Trump was going to win. And now look, they seized all of his electronics. Like this, the whole lawfare is crazy, but think about it. Remember, Trump's old guy, Bill Barr, he ordered the U.S. attorneys not to investigate the massive fraud that took place in the 2020 election. He helped the swamp overthrow Trump. But now we got we're getting Attorney General, it'll be Matt Gaetz, who's going to jump in, clean things up, and make sure that we go after it. And this is huge, guys, because this is a lot of stuff that people don't think about. So Elon Musk came out and said there's a hidden regulatory cost burden on the American people in a big way. Federal regulatory cost, average Americans over $15,000 per year. Look at this. This is crazy. This has happened under the household for American households under the Biden administration, as reported by the Competitive Enterprise Institute. What could you do with $15,000? I don't know about you, but I could do a lot of stuff. Because, you know, I got twins, I got a 3-year-old, my wife, they like, the kids are growing fast, buying clothes and all this stuff. It's crazy. But there's hidden regulatory costs in everything that we pay for, whether it's electric, whether it's, utilities, whether it's, your internet, whether it's your, local state fees, all this stuff. And this is what we've been dealing with. And now Elon Musk says we've got to get rid of all this to get more money back into the American people's hands. Because again, remember, right now, they cannot stand all what's happening across the board with all of Trump's new appointed cabinets. Check this out. Now, dang it, I almost had it, guys.
You were in disbelief.
Are you not entertained? I mean, this is the most entertaining transition I've ever seen. No, I was as surprised as Paula, because it's not a name that we had seen. You know, we'd seen some reporting, a lot of different names, frankly, a lot of really sort of well-heeled Washington legal types that were on the list. So I'm as surprised as anyone. But what I take away from this is that this is a president-elect who is feeling his power. I mean, this is someone who is appointing people to things, whether it's Gates or anything else we've seen today, who is feeling his power, feeling his influence, doesn't feel like he's in a mood to negotiate with the people in Washington, D.C. He's here to do what he wants to do, and he's going to expect the Republicans to fall in line. Now, all these people, whether it's Gates or Hegseth or anyone else, have to go to confirmation and go through these committee hearings and prove themselves like anyone else. But it is apparent to me that Trump is in a decisive mood and is not someone who's interested in picking things that he would consider to be watered down. So, but he, like everyone else, they have to go up there and prove themselves. But you can't underestimate Donald Trump's influence over the Republicans in the Senate on this. And he's going to be insistent that he get his government and his administration. And look, here's the thing. He won. And he won the popular vote, and he believes he has a mandate. And honestly, I think he does too. And some of these picks are conventional. Marco Rubio, for instance, well-known name. But some of them are designed to shake up Washington.
Yes.
And I am assuming that's what Donald Trump believes he's doing here with a few of these folks, is I'm not here to pick the Washington people. I'm here to pick the people who will shake up Washington. That's going to be one of them.
And I'm telling you what, Matt Gaetz, I just showed you earlier, he literally called out every single deep state politician, saying they were all bought by the lobbyist. And what's even better is because, again, remember, we're watching everything. Right now, people are looking to the media, what's going on, and the media is still trying to destroy Donald Trump and the Republicans, their whole persona, just trying to destroy them in any way they can. But listen to this, because this is out. This is beautiful. Check this out.
This is out just a little while ago. The ratings for MSNBC, Morning Joe down 39.6, Andrea Mitchell down 39.7, Ari Melber down 49.6, Joy Reid down 54.6, all in the last week. Lawrence O'Donnell.
Two ways way up over that same period.
That's right. Lawrence O'Donnell down 60.6, Stephanie Ruhle, the big winner, down 67% in ratings. They lost the trust of the American people. I mean, Chris Wallace this morning announced that he's leaving CNN to go to a platform. The thing is, my view, I've been asked probably by about 10 to 12 reporters in the last 48 to 72 hours, how did we miss this again? And I said, we didn't, you did. And I say this respectfully, but I was just like, look, here are the guests that we've had on. Here are the conversations. Here are the places. We didn't miss this. You did. And the idea that you're still thinking that we missed it, 7 days out from an election, shows you how bad they are at what they do. And so I think that there's a lack of trust that exists. And as Dan said, very, very apropos, that there people are going, great, I'll tune you out and I'll go find somewhere else. And Mark's right. I mean, look at the numbers. this show keeps growing every day because people, I think, are saying, I can find out more honestly what's happening on this platform than anywhere else. So look, that's why I love America. Every time someone says journalism is dying, I go over to Substack. Look at these different shows. I mean, there's a proliferation of media. It's in a different form, but it is growing and flourishing. Just
the whole old way of the media and how people got their information and how they learned about things, it's all dead. And that's where I just love it, because when we look at like where things are going, I don't know about y'all, but I truly love that we are moving towards efficiency. We're moving towards government savings, like getting the waste out, because the Department of Government Efficiency, I think, is going to be just like as big as the Manhattan Project. Check this out.
Get ready for the United States of Doge. Donald Trump is tapping Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to head up his new Department of Government Efficiency, aka Doge. The pair will work together to take a blowtorch to bloated government waste and dismantle its bureaucracy. Musk saying, quote, all actions of the Department of Government Efficiency will be posted online for maximum transparency. Anytime the public thinks we are cutting something important or not cutting something wasteful, just let us know. And here's Musk making his sales pitch while on the campaign trail last month.
Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that.
Let's go.
We're going to get the government off your back and out of your pocketbook.
Musk joining President-elect Trump on his trip to Washington and got a standing ovation during a meeting with congressional Republicans.
Elon has been Our boy Elon, let's go.
Wow, that looks great. All right, you know, Jesse, how unusual. I mean, the power of eliminating positions and sectors and agencies and line items for people who weren't even elected and aren't employees, but we have total faith in those two.
I do. I love those two, and I like them together. Musk and Vivek, just perfect. And I think Musk might be running for president. I'm going to put it out there.
Bruce Wayne, I think Grayson. Where was he born?
South
Africa.
Oh, he can't?
Hello, Jesse.
Ah, man. I'm predicting he's not running for president.
Good call.
But so I looked at some of the things we're spending money on. $20,000 for a drag show in Ecuador. $100,000 to study if sunfish become more aggressive when given gin or tequila. $100,000 to study if quail are more promiscuous if given cocaine. You don't need a study, they are. $200,000 to make monkeys transgender.
Wow.
So that just, you take that off the table right there. And then we get ripped off for $500 billion, Judge, each year for fraud. We're defrauded for $500 billion. They just steal it, and no one cares. No one does anything about it. We've had now 4 years in a row of a $7 trillion budget. Now, before the pandemic, it was like 3 or 4 trillionaire. We just doubled it, and then we kept it going even after the pandemic's over. So you got to slash that. You got to get rid of all these departments, and you got to make sure some of these people, if you move, say, the Department of Education to, I don't know, Omaha, maybe people don't want to relocate to Omaha. Maybe that may prompt them to look for jobs elsewhere, and that could help us out a lot, because we're $36 trillion in debt.
Thank you. All right, Dana. Doge, it's an interesting term, and it's a form of cryptocurrency. Yeah. And what's amazing about it is this is no relation to Dogecoin. It's the Department of Government Efficiency. But it appeals to the crypto bros. It's like part of this whole feeling that we have about this new administration. It's kind of contemporary. It's with it.
So it's like this has been tried before, but not to this extent or with these types of people or with this kind of technology. So every administration comes in, they're like, we are going to do this, we're going to cut red tape, we're going to get rid of wasteful spending. The difference here is a couple of things. One, I think the two people involved, they probably never need to work another day in their life if they didn't want to, right? So they're doing this because they believe in public service and they want the country to do better. So their intentions are there and they're not looking to help themselves necessarily. However, don't at me on the electric vehicles. I'm going to get to that. The other thing that's different is that these are two very good communicators.
Yes.
So they will be able to do all those things that Jesse just said, but they will also use the technology in order to make it very transparent. So everybody can see it. You don't just have to watch one network or see it in one newspaper. It will be there for everyone to see. I am interested to see if they do something on the real estate issue, because so many government employees have not come back to the office that we are paying rent. Federal taxpayers are paying rent on buildings where you have 7% occupancy, and that should end. That should go away. So that's one thing. But if you look at the budget as a pie, the majority of the spending is mandatory spending on Medicare and Social Security. So you can do all of those things, and it won't take you one day into taking care of the interest that we pay on our debt.
But we won't be touching Social Security.
But we will not be. But so they have their work cut out for them. But I think for both of them, one having done a significant amount of innovation and electric vehicles and other things, rockets and all that stuff. He knows what it's like to be under the heavy thumb of government. And Vivek Ramaswamy on the healthcare side of things, just personally, like watching my husband build a business for a product that is basically just building a better mousetrap. It's not anything new, and it takes so long to get anything approved.
A better what trap?
A better mousetrap. It's not a mousetrap, it's a surgical device. I'm just saying, it's just a phrase that if you want to build a better mousetrap, the government makes it so hard for you to ever actually get your business going that it holds people back. So that's the type of growth economy that they're talking about, I believe.
You know,
and I'm telling you this, just like they said, when you think about all the stupid spending, everybody, I'm sorry, but this is why I've always said I've hated paying taxes. I said the reason because the people that we pay them to don't manage it like they're supposed to. And you don't get a choice to pay taxes. And I still pay my taxes. I still follow the law. But when you look at this, we told you this earlier. We paid $500,000 to study if selfies make you happy. We paid $1 million to study if Japanese quail were more frisky if you give them cocaine. We paid $80,000 to ask taxi drivers in Ghana if climate change makes it harder for them to drive. Are you freaking kidding me? This is taxpayer dollars that is being used. Who the heck gets to decide that this is something? And that's why they said, we're going to make it transparent. Everything we're going to put online so that everybody can see. And if there's things that shouldn't be cut, we'll ask people and we'll take, people's thoughts into consideration. But it's just amazing to see now an actual administration that is willing to go out there and do the hard thing, make limited government like it was in the beginning with our founding fathers, and move towards an efficient government. No federal income taxes. Give the people back the money that's theirs. This has been such a fun show tonight. I tell you what, I get so excited about where things are going. And I'm so thankful to everybody that's watching. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. I want to serve you every day with the top news. And remember, if you haven't hit the thumbs up like button, please do so. It really does help. It's free, guys, and it helps out so much with the channel. And thank you to all of our members of the channel. Y'all are killing it. I'm so thankful that we're building such a wonderful community that wants to give back. And we're going to do it live on this channel in a little over a week. We do that with the super chats you give, with the membership. We want to give back and do positive things with this channel. And we do it live so you can see full transparency. Thank you so much, Lay Lewis, Andy, John Reppy, Barbara Bliss, Camp Goer 1, Judy Lynn Loving Spirit, Christine Angler, Sam, for all the super chats and donations, guys. Y'all are so amazing. Me and my family are so grateful. And we're going to be doing some special members-only videos in the next coming weeks. And this is the True Life News fam. We want to bring you the best content every single day, and we're here to serve you. We love you, we thank you, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.